Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to Truth Seeker Insights, where you're free to uncover your truths. My name is Quashana, and this is a safe space for healing, growth, and real conversations. So today I want to share something I've been sitting with for a while. It's the truth about working as an independent contractor, not the polished version companies pitch to you when they say flexibility or freedom. I'm talking about the messy middle, the part they don't prepare you for. Now, you see, I've been doing this kind of work for years. At first, it sounded like a dream, of course. I could work from home, set my schedule, still be a parent, still build my businesses. And yes, sometimes it really does feel like freedom, but other times it feels like a trap dressed up in glitter. Now, this story isn't just about a job. It's about survival, resilience, and the truth behind so many online gigs. Now, let's talk about the way these companies pitch the dream. They tell you that if you stay consistent, keep your metrics up, and meet your commitments, you'll be rewarded with more hours, maybe even better pay. But here's the catch. You're not an employee. You're a contractor. And that means that they can overhire without consequences. If they bring in too many people, the newer ones, like you, get stuck at the bottom of the tier list with little to no hours. I've worked contracts that promised 15 to 30 hours per week, but when their search season ended or they hired too many people, those hours vanished. No warning, no accountability, just silence. It's not always the work that's hard. It's the instability. You can't budget when you don't know if you'll have work next week. You constantly have to hustle to find your next gig, which this creates a pattern of broken promises. I've stayed loyal to companies longer than I probably should have, simply because I believed in them. I gave my time, my energy, and often my emotional bandwidth for broken promises. One company said, if I never missed a shift and kept perfect performance, I'd move up the tier and get more hours. I did that. I was consistent. I even made sacrifices in my personal life to stay available. And then they hired more people. Suddenly my hours disappeared. They told me it was a slow period. But a few weeks later, I found out from other contractors that the company had expanded the team massively without scaling the hours. So it wasn't about my performance. It was about supply and demand. And they had too much supply. But they never say that out loud. They never apologize. They send you a generic email and act like it's normal. And it happens over and over. It's the kind of thing that slowly wears on you, that erodes trust, that makes you feel invisible. Now, the emotional weight we carry from this, it's not just about losing hours. It's about the stress of not knowing your plan that you're going to have for the week. You may think that you're going to get about 20 hours, only to check your schedule and see nothing. You sit in silence, refreshing the portal, hoping something appears. And if you're a single parent or someone without a safety net, that pressure builds fast. I've cried. I've panicked. I've debated whether I should sell something just to cover my phone bill. I've spent weekends worried about Monday morning, not because I had too much work, but because I had none at all. The worst part is isolating. You don't want to tell friends or family because they already think working as a contractor and not an employee isn't a real job. You don't want their pity. You just want honesty from the companies you contract for. And when you try to get assistance during the hard times, good luck with that. Most programs don't recognize contractors the same way they do employees. So even when you're in need, the system doesn't really have a place for you. This lifestyle requires so much mental strength, so much patience. It makes you second guess your choices, and that weighs heavily on you. Now, it shouldn't be this way. If companies are going to hire contractors by the hundreds, there needs to be transparency. There needs to be limits. Overhiring shouldn't be a hidden strategy because it impacts real people with rent, groceries, children who need childcare, people who plan their finances around a promise. I wish more people spoke up about this issue. I wish companies were held accountable. I've seen too many hardworking people disappear from platforms, not because they didn't try, but because they were forgotten. And every time I go through one of these cycles, I think about those people. I think about how many of us are just trying to survive and building something for ourselves. There has to be a better way. There has to be room for fairness, for clarity, for mutual respect. So why do I keep doing it? Because when it does work, it fits my life. It gives me time with my kids. It allows me to pursue my passions. And sometimes I even meet amazing people along the way. I've learned to always have a backup gig. I've learned to build my own side projects like my spiritual journals and candle line. That's how I cope. That's how I stay grounded. I want to build something that lasts, something that doesn't depend on a faceless company that's giving me hours. That's why I'm turning my experiences into empowerment, so maybe someone else doesn't feel as lost. And honestly, that's why I started this channel, to share these truths, to help others not feel so alone, and to remind myself that even when the system is broken, I still have the power to speak up. Now, let's talk about solutions. I'm not here just to rant. I want us to talk about real solutions. If you're in this situation, start documenting everything. Keep track of what was promised and what was delivered. Diversify your income. Even if it's small, build something of your own. Find a community. Talk to others in the same field so you don't feel alone. And protect your energy. Don't give more than you can afford to lose. This channel is going to be a safe space where we talk about that, where we support each other's, share resources, and just be honest. I'll also be sharing tools and tips, things that have helped me stay afloat and maintain my peace. If you've been feeling like giving up, don't. There is a way forward, and even if it means paving your own path, you're not alone. If you're listening to this and nodding your head, thank you. You're not alone. This world of independent contractor is complicated, is messy, and sometimes it's definitely unfair, but we don't have to stay silent about it. If you found value in this video, share it, leave a comment, subscribe if you want more real conversations about surviving and thriving in the real world of online work. And always remember, your value is not based on your work schedule. Your voice matters. Thanks for listening, beautiful souls. Until next time, stay grounded, stay real, and take care of your light. Our affirmation for today is, you are still worthy. Even in survival mode, keep going. You're not alone. Have a wonderful day, love. I hope to talk with you soon again. Please check out my channel again. Definitely subscribe. And I wish you have a blessed day.